Ladies, I want you to hear me today. God has placed something divine inside of you, something so powerful, so anointed. It will change the atmosphere wherever you go. Some of you feel ordinary, unnoticed, or overlooked. But I am here to remind you, you are carrying something holy. You may have faced storms. You may have walked through valleys of confusion, pain, and delay. Yet in the silence, in the waiting, God was planting something inside of you, a purpose, a calling, a gift that cannot be replicated, borrowed, or stolen. Do not despise your season of preparation. Do not belittle the quiet moments of your life. What God has placed within you is sacred. It is holy. It is destined for greatness. People may not understand your journey, but heaven does. Angels are assigned to guard the treasure that you carry. Doors may seem closed. God's promise will open them at the perfect time. Every tear, every struggle, every setback has been purifying what you carry. You are not carrying ordinary dreams. You are carrying a divine assignment, a gift that will touch lives, shift atmospheres, and bring glory to the name of God. You were chosen for such a time as this, and the world is waiting for the holy within you to be released. So rise up, stand firm, and embrace the power within you. Speak life, walk in faith, and move with courage. God has declared it. You are carrying something holy. And when you release it, the heavens will celebrate and the earth will tremble. You are not here by accident. Everything about you, every step you have taken, every person you have met, every delay, every detour, every season of waiting, it has all been by divine design. God has placed you exactly where you need to be, and you must begin to understand that there is power in divine placement. Too often, we look at our circumstances and we feel small, overlooked, or forgotten. We see others moving, achieving, and getting opportunities, and we ask, God, why not me? Why am I still here? But the truth is this: God is never late. He is never confused, and he never misplaces his children. The very place where you feel hidden, overlooked, or stagnant is the place where God is perfecting your position. Divine placement is not about the visible. It's not about what the world sees. It's not about popularity, recognition, or the applause of men. Divine placement is about preparation, purpose, and positioning. Places you in a specific place with specific people in specific seasons for a specific assignment. And if you miss this truth, you may try to rush, push, or force your way ahead, and you will miss the fullness of what God intended for you. Divine placement is about being in the right place at the right time for the right purpose. It's about understanding that God knows exactly where you should be so that you can grow, learn, and step into your destiny. Sometimes you feel misplaced because you are comparing your journey with someone else's. But what God has for you is unique. It cannot be copied, it cannot be rushed, and it cannot be stolen. Think about Joseph in the Bible, a young man betrayed by his brothers, thrown into a pit, sold into slavery, falsely accused, forgotten in prison. If he had looked at his circumstances, he would have thought he was abandoned, misplaced, or rejected. Joseph never questioned his divine placement. Every step from the pit to Potiphar's house to the prison to Pharaoh's palace was orchestrated by God. He was in the right place at the right time, even when it did not feel right. And because he trusted the divine placement, he became the Savior of nations, the one who preserved life. Your current season, no matter how uncomfortable, is not random. God has placed you there to prepare you. Sometimes divine placement feels like isolation. It may feel lonely. It may feel like no one notices, no one understands. But that is exactly when God is aligning the angels, shifting the atmosphere, and perfecting your position. Don't despise your quiet season. Don't resent the waiting. Don't measure your worth by how quickly doors open. Divine placement is intentional. Timing is crucial. Now, divine placement also teaches you patience. It teaches you humility. It teaches you to rely not on your own strength, your own plans, or your own understanding, but on God. When you are in the right place at the right time, doors begin to open, connections begin to happen, and opportunities appear that could not have been manufactured by human effort. But the challenge is, will you remain faithful while hidden? Will you trust the God who is unseen, even when the world doesn't recognize your progress? I see some of you nodding because you understand. You have been in a place where you felt invisible. You have been in a situation that seemed discouraging. You have been working, serving, loving, giving, praying, and no one seemed to notice. But let me remind you, divine placement is never wasted. Every act of obedience, every word spoken in faith, every step of courage, every tear you have cried, it all has a purpose. God is building your character, preparing your heart, and positioning your life for a divine breakthrough. Divine placement is also about protection. There are things that could harm you if you were in the wrong place at the wrong time. God in His wisdom places you where you need to be, not just for your benefit, but for your protection. That person, that opportunity, position you think you are missing. Sometimes it's a blessing in disguise that God withheld it because the timing was not yet right. When God places you, He places you for provision, protection, and purpose. You must start speaking life over your position. Start declaring that God has you exactly where He wants you. Stop comparing yourself to others. Stop rushing, forcing, or bending circumstances to fit your plans. Stand firm in the truth that your current season is divinely appointed. Even when it feels uncomfortable, even when you don't understand, even when it seems like nothing is happening, trust the placement. God has you there for a reason. He has placed you there to grow, to mature, to learn, to prepare, and to rise. Some of you may be saying, but I want more. I want to move faster. I want to be seen. I want to be recognized. And I hear you. Here's the secret when you try to move ahead of divine placement. You miss the glory, the lesson, power that God has reserved for your perfect timing. Trust the process. Trust the positioning. Trust the one who sees the end from the beginning. Remember, divine placement is not just for you, it's for others. God places you strategically so that you can influence lives, shift atmospheres, fulfill a mission that impacts generations. Your presence in the right place at the right time will release blessings that ripple far beyond what you can see. Quiet season of waiting, that position that feels unnoticed, that role you feel too small to fill. God is using it to prepare you for a ministry, a leadership, a calling, and a legacy that will leave a mark forever. So today, rise up with confidence. Stand in faith. Speak life over your position. Declare that God's divine placement is perfect. Stop measuring your worth by human recognition. Stop allowing frustration to overshadow your faith. Brace your season. Walk in obedience. Serve diligently. Love faithfully. Pray consistently. Every step, every moment, every struggle, every blessing, God is using it to position you for your divine purpose. I tell you, when you trust divine placement, your breakthrough comes, your joy arrives, your destiny unfolds. God will not fail. He will not misplace you. He will not overlook the gift, the calling, the anointing within you. You are in the right place at the right time for the right reason. Stand firm and watch how the heavens align, doors open. The world begins to witness the power of God moving through your divine placement. Your life is not an accident. Your calling is not a coincidence. You are not misplaced. You are divinely positioned. And when you walk in the fullness of this truth, nothing and no one can stop the blessing God has prepared for you. Your season of waiting is not wasted. Every moment that feels long, every delay that seems unnecessary, every silence that leaves you questioning, God is at work. He is doing a divine work inside of you, shaping you, preparing you, and revealing the depth of your purpose. There is a reason for your waiting. There is power in your pause. There is purpose in the waiting. Too often, we look at waiting as a punishment, as a setback, as if God has forgotten us. But let me tell you something, waiting is a sacred season. It is the space where God teaches us patience, develops our character, and strengthens our faith. Waiting is not a sign of failure. It is an invitation to trust, to grow, and to prepare for what is coming. Think about the stories in the Bible. Abraham waited for decades for the promise of a child. Joseph waited in a pit, then in prison before he rose to power. David waited years in obscurity before becoming king. These were not idle moments. These were seasons of preparation, divine alignment, and spiritual growth. God was doing something inside of them that the world could not see, and He is doing the same thing in you. During waiting, God teaches us to rely on Him completely. It is easy to trust God when everything is going well, when doors are open, when the path seems clear. But faith is forged in the fire of waiting. It is refined in the silence of delay. It is strengthened when the world says, you are too late or you are forgotten. But God says otherwise, I am not late. I am working. I am preparing. I am perfecting. Wait and see my hand move. There is a purpose to every pause. When you feel like you are stuck, it is often God's way of positioning you for a breakthrough. Sometimes He waits to give the blessing, the opportunity, or the promotion until He has fully equipped you to handle it. And let me tell you, God releases it too early. You might not be ready for the responsibility, the influence, or the impact that is coming. Waiting is not wasted. It is wisdom in action. I see some of you nodding because you know exactly what I'm talking about. You have prayed, you have given, you have served faithfully, and yet it feels like nothing is happening. But God's delay is not denial. It is a divine pause, a sacred interlude, a season where your faith is being strengthened, your vision is being clarified, and your heart is being prepared for something far greater than you imagined. Purpose in the waiting also teaches us humility. It reminds us that we are not in control. We cannot force God's timing, manipulate opportunities, or rush destiny. Waiting requires submission. It requires surrender. It requires the understanding that God's ways are higher than our ways. His timing is perfect. When we learn to embrace waiting, we learn to trust Him fully. And trust, my friends, is the foundation for every blessing. Waiting also allows God to align people, places, and opportunities for us. You may feel isolated or alone, but God is orchestrating connections behind the scenes. He is arranging situations, opening doors, and positioning people to help you step into your season. Sometimes things we are waiting for will only come to us at a certain time, in a certain place, in a certain way. And that timing, though invisible, is divinely intentional. During the waiting, God also builds our character. He uses silence to refine our speech. He uses solitude to strengthen our spirit. He uses challenges to deepen our endurance. You are not just waiting for the blessing. You are waiting for the person you need to become to handle the blessing. This is critical. Purpose in the waiting is not about what happens around you. It is about what happens inside you. Every delay is shaping your destiny. Every unanswered prayer is developing your dependence on God. Every obstacle is cultivating resilience. Every trial is expanding your capacity to walk in power. And when the waiting season ends, you will rise not just as someone who receives, as someone who is ready to steward the fullness of what God has prepared for you. Do not despise the season of waiting. Do not lose hope. Do not allow frustration to blind you to the growth that is occurring. Instead, see waiting as sacred. See it as purposeful. See it as God's classroom for your soul. This is where your vision is sharpened, your faith is strengthened, your patience is expanded, your trust in God becomes unshakable. Remember, purpose in the waiting is also about intimacy with God. While the world is rushing, God invites you to slow down. While others are impatient, God asks you to lean in. While the noise of life distracts, God calls you to listen. The waiting is an opportunity to deepen your relationship with Him, to hear His voice more clearly, and to understand His will more profoundly. In waiting, you learn not just to receive, but to recognize God's presence in every moment. And when the waiting season finally ends, you will look back and say, it was all worth it. The delay was necessary. The preparation was essential. The waiting was purposeful. You will step into your breakthrough, your destiny, your calling, not as someone who is rushed or unprepared, but as someone who is mature, ready, and equipped for the assignment. So today, embrace your season of waiting. Stand firm in faith. Speak life over your pause. Declare that every moment of silence, every delay, every challenge, every unanswered question is a divine appointment for growth. Trust that God is at work behind the scenes. Trust that He is perfecting your path. Trust that He is preparing you for what you cannot yet see. Your waiting is not wasted. Your waiting is not meaningless. Your waiting is sacred. And in the fullness of time, God will show you that every second, every tear, every prayer, and every moment of patience had a purpose. Purpose in the waiting is the key to unlocking your destiny, stepping into your blessing, and walking in the fullness of God's plan for your life. So rise up, remain steadfast, and trust in the God who never forgets, never fails, and never abandons. Your breakthrough is coming. Your season is approaching. Your purpose is waiting, and God is ready to release it in His perfect timing. You are under divine protection, not just any protection, protection by heaven itself. There are angels assigned to your life, your family, your purpose, and your destiny. There is a power that shields you from harm, a force that surrounds you in the midst of storms, and a hand that guides you even when you cannot see the way. God's protection is real, it is present, it is active in your life right now. Too often, we live in fear, worry, and uncertainty. We see challenges, obstacles, and attacks, and we think we are alone. The truth is this: God has stationed His heavenly forces around you. You are not walking through life without defense. You are not moving through storms without help. You are not facing trials without a supernatural shield. The battle may rage, but victory is already appointed to you because heaven itself is on your side. Protection by heaven is not always about keeping you from difficulty. Sometimes it is about carrying you through it. Joseph was betrayed, sold into slavery, and imprisoned. David faced giants, enemies, and betrayal. Daniel was thrown into a lion's den, yet God's protection surrounded them, not necessarily removing every threat immediately, but preserving them through every trial. That is the power of divine protection. It does not always stop the storm, but it keeps you safe in the midst of it. Protection by heaven is strategic. It is not random. God places boundaries around you. He surrounds you with angels to guard your steps. He closes doors that could harm you. He opens paths that lead to life, provision, and victory. And sometimes what looks like delay or isolation is actually divine protection. God is keeping you from things you cannot yet see, shielding you from danger, ensuring that when your moment comes, you will step in fully prepared and unharmed. Think about the story of the Israelites in the wilderness. They were pursued by Pharaoh's army, facing imminent danger. Yet God's protection manifested as a pillar of cloud by day and a pillar of fire by night. The waters parted, and what seemed like certain death became a pathway to freedom. That same power, that same protection is available to you today. You may be facing attacks in your workplace, in your home, in your mind, or in your spirit. But God's protection surrounds you. He is making a way where there seems to be no way. Protection by heaven also teaches us to trust, requires faith to believe that even when circumstances seem impossible, God is fighting for you. You may not understand why certain things happen, why people hurt you, or why challenges come, but faith knows that divine protection is greater than any threat. Angels are assigned to protect your mind, your heart, your body, and your purpose. Nothing can penetrate the shield that God places around you when He is moving on your behalf. Some of you have experienced attacks, physical, emotional, spiritual, or financial, and you wonder why God allowed it. Let me tell you something. Protection by heaven does not always mean immunity from every challenge. Sometimes it means preservation. Sometimes it means intervention. Sometimes it means preparation. The attack may come, but it will not prevail. The enemy may try, but your life is safeguarded by the power of heaven. Divine protection is not passive. It requires alignment with God's will. It requires obedience, prayer, and a life committed to holiness. The closer you walk with God, the more you operate under His protection. The more you trust Him, the more you experience His safeguarding. The more you honor His ways, the more clearly you can see the evidence of His angels, His provision, and His supernatural shield around your life. Protection by heaven is also relational. God surrounds you with people, places, and circumstances that act as additional shields. Sometimes a kind word, timely intervention, or a providential opportunity is God's protection at work. You may not see it as divine at the moment, but when you look back, you realize that God was guarding you from mistakes, harm, and even destruction. Every encounter, every warning, every nudge is part of the protective hand of heaven. Protection by heaven is for your purpose. God does not protect you randomly. He protects you because He has a plan for you. You are not just surviving, you are being preserved for a destiny, an assignment, calling that requires you intact, ready, and whole Your breakthrough, your ministry, your family, and your influence are all tied to God's safeguarding. Nothing can derail your assignment when heaven is on your side. Protection by heaven is constant. It does not sleep, it does not falter, and it does not fail. Psalm 91 says that no harm will overtake you, no plague will come near your dwelling, and angels are commanded to guard you in all your ways. Promise is not just for kings and prophets, it is for you. God has stationed a heavenly army around your life, ready to fight battles you cannot see. Intervene in situations beyond your control and preserve your life, your mind, and your calling. So today, I want you to rise with confidence. Speak life over your protection. Declare that heaven surrounds you. Declare that no weapon formed against you will prosper. Declare that God's angels are watching over your going out and coming in. Stop walking in fear. Stop doubting. Stop worrying. Trust in the one who never sleeps, never slumbers, and never fails. Your life is guarded. Your assignment is safe. Your future is preserved. Protection by heaven is real. It is active. It is powerful. And it is personal. God has not left you unguarded. He has not abandoned you. He has not overlooked you. Angels are watching. Doors are opening. The hand of God is moving to ensure that you walk in victory, purpose, and divine fulfillment. You are covered, protected, and preserved by heaven itself. Nothing can stop what God has for you. The enemy may be threatened, circumstances may oppose, but your life is under divine protection, and God's plan cannot be thwarted. Step boldly, move confidently, and live fearlessly, for heaven has you guarded. Your worth cannot be measured by human standards. Your value is not determined by what people say about you, how many friends you have, how much money is in your account, or how visible your success appears. There is a depth to your worth, a treasure in your life, calling on your spirit that is beyond human understanding. You are priceless in the eyes of God. Nothing in this world can define or diminish the treasure He has placed within you. Too often, we allow the opinions of others to shape our self-worth. We look at our failures, our mistakes, our setbacks, and we think we are less than we truly are. We compare ourselves to others and feel small because we do not yet see the fullness of what God has placed within us. But let me tell you, God values you in ways the world cannot measure. He sees your potential, your purpose, and your assignment, and He treasures you as His masterpiece. Value beyond understanding is not about external achievements. It is not about titles, recognition, or accolades. It is about who you are in the heart of God. Your calling, your gift, your character, your perseverance, and your faith are all priceless in His eyes. You may feel unnoticed, undervalued, overlooked by men, but in heaven, your life has eternal significance. Your acts of obedience, your moments of courage, your seasons of waiting, and your faithful steps are all of infinite worth to God. Think about the story of the widow in the Bible who gave her 2 small coins at the temple. In the eyes of men, it seemed insignificant, yet Jesus said she gave more than all others because she gave all she had. That is value beyond understanding. Your small acts, your unseen efforts, your quiet faithfulness, they matter in ways you cannot measure. God sees the treasure in your heart, and He honors it in ways that surpass human comprehension. Sometimes we struggle because we compare our value to others. We see someone else blessed with wealth, popularity, or influence, and we feel less than. But God's assessment is different. He does not measure you by what you have or what you do. He measures you by who you are becoming. He values your integrity, your humility, your persistence, and your faith. You are more valuable to Him than gold, more precious than silver, and more treasured than anything this world can offer. Your value is also tied to your divine assignment. God has called you for a purpose, a mission that no one else can fulfill. That calling is unique to you, and the influence of your life is far-reaching. Even when you cannot see it, even when it seems small or unnoticed, what God has placed inside of you has eternal impact. Your words, your prayers, your sacrifices, your faithfulness, they ripple through time and generations. That is value beyond understanding. Your worth is not defined by rejection, failure, or opposition. Every trial you face, every disappointment you endure, and every challenge you overcome only increases your value in the eyes of God. He is shaping you, refining you, and polishing you like a precious gem. Every tear, every struggle, every season of waiting adds to the brilliance of what God is creating in you. The world may see scars, heaven sees beauty. The world may see setbacks. Heaven sees preparation. The world may see weakness. God sees strength. Value beyond understanding also teaches you to stand firm in your identity. You do not have to seek validation from others because your worth has already been declared by the Creator of the universe. You are God's handiwork, fearfully and wonderfully made. He knows your potential, He knows your purpose, and He knows the impact you are meant to have. Stop measuring yourself by the standards of the world and start embracing your God-given worth. God does not compare you to anyone else, and you should not either. You have a unique gift, a unique voice, a unique influence that no one else can replicate. When you try to measure your worth by comparing yourself to others, you diminish your own value. Instead, focus on who God created you to be. Your life has significance that transcends human understanding, and your calling cannot be duplicated. Think about the shepherd boy David, who became king. In the eyes of men, he was the youngest, the least experienced, the least likely candidate for leadership. Yet God saw his heart, his courage, and his faith. David's value was beyond what anyone else could measure, and because of that, God elevated him to greatness. What God sees in you is priceless, and the world may not understand it yet, but heaven knows your worth. Value beyond understanding also brings confidence. When you truly grasp your divine worth, you no longer settle for less than God's best. You no longer allow people to mistreat you, undervalue you, or manipulate you. You stand firm because you know that God treasures you, that He is with you, and that He has ordained your steps. You walk boldly in your calling because you understand that your value is eternal, unshakable, and beyond human comprehension. I see some of you doubting, thinking I am not enough, I am not worthy, I am not qualified. But God says differently, you are enough because I made you. You are valuable because I love you. You are treasured because I called you. Your mistakes do not define you. Your failures do not diminish you. And your past does not determine your future. Heaven declares your worth, and that declaration surpasses anything anyone else could say about you. So today, rise with confidence. Stand in your God-given value. Speak life over yourself. Declare that your worth is beyond human measurement, beyond human opinion, beyond human understanding. Stop seeking validation from those who cannot see your potential. Trust in the one who sees your heart, knows your purpose, treasures your life. Remember, value beyond understanding is not about what you do. It is about who you are. It is about your faith, your obedience, your perseverance, and your love. It is about the eternal significance of your life and the impact you will have for generations. Do not be discouraged by temporary setbacks or worldly judgments. You are precious, you are treasured, you are valued, and nothing, no one, no circumstance can diminish the worth that God has placed within you. So rise today and embrace your divine value. Walk confidently in the truth that you are more than enough. Your life is priceless and your worth is beyond understanding. God sees you. Heaven treasures you. Your purpose is significant, and the world will one day witness the fullness of the value that has been hidden, protected, and nurtured within you all along. Trials you are facing are not accidents. They are not punishments. They are not signs that God has abandoned you. No, the challenges, the struggles, heartbreaks, and the setbacks you are experiencing are all part of a divine process, purification through trials. God is refining you. He is strengthening you. He is preparing you for something greater than you could imagine. The fire you are walking through is not to destroy you, it is to purify you. Too often we look at trials as interruptions, obstacles that prevent us from moving forward. But let me tell you, trials are God's refining tool. They test your faith, strengthen your character, and clarify your purpose. Every hardship is designed to remove what is unnecessary, to reveal what is essential, to shape you into the person God has called you to be. Without trials, there would be no refinement. Without challenges, there would be no growth. And without purification, there would be no breakthrough. Think about gold. Gold is valuable, but in its raw form, it is mixed with impurities. It must go through fire, intense heat, and careful refining before it becomes pure and valuable. That is what trials do in your life. They remove the impurities of fear, pride, doubt, and weakness. They refine your faith, your focus, and your fortitude. God is turning you into something pure, something strong, and something precious that will withstand the tests of life and fulfill His divine purpose. Purification through trials is not just about endurance. It is about transformation. It is about becoming a person who can carry more, achieve more, fulfill more. Sometimes God allows trials to stretch you, to break you of old habits, and to prepare your heart for greater responsibilities. You are going through now is shaping your character, building your resilience, and equipping you to walk in the fullness of your calling. Trials reveal the depth of your faith. They expose the strength of your spirit. They uncover the sincerity of your devotion. When everything is easy, anyone can walk in faith. But when life gets hard, when storms rage, when pressures mount, that is when true character is revealed. Your trials are not to defeat you, they are to demonstrate what God has been building in you all along. Let me give you a biblical example. Joseph, the young man who was betrayed by his brothers, sold into slavery, and falsely imprisoned, endured years of hardship. Yet each trial was a part of God's refining process. Each challenge was purifying him for the throne, for the leadership, for the assignment that would save nations. Every fire, every struggle, every moment of injustice was shaping him into someone who could carry God's plan to completion. Purification through trials also teaches patience, teaches endurance. It teaches humility. You cannot be rushed through refinement, and you cannot shortcut the process. Every trial, every delay, every difficult season is an opportunity to grow, to trust, and to become more like the person God has called you to be. Your patience in the trial is evidence of your faith, and your endurance is a testimony of your strength. I see some of you struggling because you do not understand why you are going through what you are going through. You have asked God, why me? Why this situation? Why this pain? And I want you to hear this. The trial is not the punishment. It is the preparation. Fire is not to harm you. It is to refine you. What you are walking through now is temporary, but what it is producing in you is eternal. The character, strength, and faith you are developing will last a lifetime, and it will impact generations to come. Trials also reveal your dependence on God. They remind you that you cannot do life alone, that you cannot achieve your purpose without divine guidance, and that true strength comes from surrender. Pressure comes when the storm rages, when the enemy attacks. You are forced to lean on God, and in that dependence, you discover a strength, a courage, and a faith that could not have been developed any other way. Purification through trials also purges distractions, removes what is unnecessary, and focuses your attention on what truly matters. It brings clarity to your purpose, sharpens your vision, and aligns your heart with God's will. The difficulties you face are designed to strip away distractions, to reveal priorities, to prepare you for the fullness of your calling. What may feel painful now is actually strategic refinement for your destiny. Think about the prophet Daniel. He faced lions, threats, and opposition, yet God used those trials to purify his faith and elevate his influence. His faithfulness in the face of danger proved that God could trust him with greater responsibility, greater wisdom, and greater favor. Your trials are doing the same thing in your life. They are proving your faith, strengthening your resolve, and preparing you for a future of impact. Do not despise the fire. Do not resent the struggle. Do not give up in the season of trial. Every tear, every challenge, every moment of difficulty is producing something powerful, something precious, and something eternal in your life. Purification is painful, but it is necessary. Trials are not the end. They are the preparation for your breakthrough. The enemy does not want you to understand the purpose of your trials. He wants you discouraged, bitter, and defeated. But when you recognize the divine purpose in the fire, when you embrace the refinement, when you walk through the struggle with faith, you will emerge stronger, wiser, and more powerful than ever before. Your breakthrough is tied to your faithfulness in the fire. Your victory is connected to your endurance in the trial. Your destiny is aligned with your willingness to be purified. So today, rise up with courage. Stand firm in the storm. Speak life over your trials. Declare that the fire will not consume you, but it will refine you. Trust that God is using every challenge, every difficulty, every opposition to prepare you for greatness. Do not shrink back. Do not give in. Do not despair. Your purification is producing the breakthrough that heaven has ordained for you. Trials do not define you, they refine you. Pain does not limit you, it prepares you. Pressure does not destroy you, it strengthens you. Every challenge you face is a step closer to the purpose, the assignment, and the destiny that God has for your life. Embrace it, trust it. Walk through it with faith, and when the fire has done its work, you will shine brighter, walk taller, and fulfill the calling that only you can accomplish. I will not be defeated. I will not be destroyed. I will not be broken. I will be purified. I will be strengthened, and I will walk in the fullness of my destiny. Trials are not my end. They are my refinement, my preparation, and my path to victory. God is with me, and I will emerge victorious, refined, radiant for His glory. You were never created to be ordinary. You were never meant to blend in, to live a life of mediocrity, or to follow the path that everyone else walks. God did not design you to conform to the limitations of this world. No, He created you to be extraordinary, set apart, and divine. You are not ordinary, you are divine, and there is a purpose, a calling, and a destiny in your life that surpasses human understanding. Too often we settle for ordinary because it seems safer, easier, or more acceptable. We look around at the world and think, this is how life is supposed to be. But let me tell you something, if God had intended for you to be ordinary, He would have left you ordinary. He would have designed you to be like everyone else. But He didn't. He breathed purpose, destiny, and uniqueness into your life. He placed divine potential within you that the world cannot comprehend. Being divine means that you are connected to the supernatural. It means that your life carries an influence beyond what can be measured by human standards. It means that God has placed a calling on you that is larger than circumstances, bigger than opposition, and stronger than the limitations of this world. You are not here by accident. You are here because heaven has a plan, a purpose, and a divine assignment that only you can fulfill. Think about the story of Esther. She was a young woman living in obscurity, seemingly ordinary in the eyes of man. God had placed her in a position of influence for such a time as that. She was chosen, set apart, and given a purpose that could save an entire nation. What seemed ordinary to others was actually divinely extraordinary in the hands of God. And that is exactly who you are, a person whose life, calling, and impact are not ordinary, they are divine. Not ordinary means that you are designed to overcome challenges that would stop others. You are meant to rise above circumstances, to defy the odds, and to accomplish things that others may say are impossible. God has given you gifts, anointing, and resilience that cannot be duplicated. You carry within you a divine essence that separates you from the ordinary, equips you for greatness, positions you for supernatural favor. Sometimes the world will not recognize your value. Sometimes people will underestimate you, overlook you, even oppose you. But that does not diminish your divinity. What God has placed in you cannot be measured by human opinion, evaluation, or understanding. Your divine nature is not dependent on recognition. It is inherent, eternal, and unstoppable. Heaven has declared it, and no one can change it. Being divine also means that your life has purpose beyond personal gain. Your influence, your words, your actions, and your choices carry weight in the spiritual and natural realms. What you do, how you respond, the way you walk in your calling affects not only your destiny, but also the destinies of those around you. You are designed to be a light in darkness, voice in the wilderness, and a force for transformation. That is the essence of being not ordinary, but divine. Divine life is never complacent. It is never passive. It is active, intentional, and impactful. You are called to operate with boldness, to embrace courage, to walk with confidence in the supernatural authority that God has given you. Ordinary life fears risk, avoids challenges, and settles for mediocrity. Divine life faces opposition, embraces faith, and rises above every obstacle to fulfill the calling on your life. You may feel ordinary in your struggles. You may question your significance in the silence, your purpose in the waiting, or your calling in the challenges you face. But God says, I see you. I am with you. I have placed greatness within you. Your current circumstances do not define your destiny. Your divine potential is not limited by what you see or what you feel. You are being prepared, positioned, empowered for a life that is not ordinary. It is divinely extraordinary. Think about the miracles in the Bible. The feeding of the 5,000, the parting of the Red Sea, the raising of Lazarus. These events were not ordinary, they were divine. And the people involved, though seemingly ordinary at the time, were carriers of the divine plan. They were positioned, empowered, and obedient to God's will. In the same way, you are not ordinary, you are chosen, set apart, and empowered to carry out divine assignments in your generation. Not ordinary means that your words have power. Your faith has authority. Your prayers have impact. Your actions can shift circumstances, heal hearts, and bring transformation. When you begin to operate in the fullness of your divine calling, the ordinary world cannot contain you, and the impossible becomes possible. What the world considers ordinary, God considers extraordinary when it is surrendered to His purposes. Being divine also requires discipline, faith, and perseverance. It requires that you do not settle for less than God's best. It requires that you pursue holiness, embrace purpose, and walk with integrity. Divine life is intentional. It is marked by spiritual awareness, prayerful dependence, and courage to rise above fear and opposition. You are not ordinary because you are designed to reflect God's glory in every area of your life. I am not ordinary. I am not average. I am divinely appointed. I am divinely empowered. I am a carrier of God's purpose, a vessel of His glory, and a witness to His power. Stop living small. Stop allowing the world to define your value. Stop doubting your calling. You are divine, and your life will leave an eternal impact. Remember, being divine is not just about what you do. It is about who you are in God. It is about walking in identity, purpose, and authority. It is about knowing that the same God who created the heavens and the earth resides within you, empowering you to accomplish feats that ordinary men and women cannot. You are not ordinary, you are divine, and heaven is watching as you fulfill your destiny. Today, rise with confidence, walk with boldness, and live with purpose. Embrace the divine calling in your life. Step into the extraordinary, the supernatural, holy assignment that God has placed within you. You are not here to be ordinary. You are here to be divine, anointed, victorious in every area of your life. Walk in it, claim it, and release the power that only heaven can provide. Your season of release is here. Prayers you have prayed, the dreams you have held, the promises God has placed in your heart, they are ready to manifest. You have been waiting, preparing, trusting, and now the time has come for God to move on your behalf. This is not a moment to hold back. This is a time to step into the fullness of your destiny, the abundance of your calling, and the victory that heaven has prepared for you. Too often, we live in seasons of waiting, wondering when our breakthrough will come. We feel like our efforts, our prayers, and our sacrifices have gone unnoticed. But let me remind you today, every moment of waiting was intentional, every tear was counted, and every step of faith was recorded. God has been working behind the scenes, aligning circumstances, opening doors, and preparing you for this very moment of release. A season of release is a time when God takes what has been held in your heart and manifests it in the natural. It is a time when your breakthrough is no longer delayed, your provision is no longer withheld, and your destiny is no longer postponed. It is a time when what was once hidden, limited, or confined is set free. God is releasing favor, resources, influence, opportunities into your life that will shift your atmosphere, elevate your calling, and position you for supernatural impact. Think about the Israelites leaving Egypt. They had waited decades in bondage, praying, yearning, and longing for freedom. Then God moved. The time of their release came and everything changed. Their chains were broken, their enemies were defeated, and the path to their promise was opened. That same God is moving on your behalf today. What has been held back, delayed, or seemingly impossible in your life is about to be released. Your season of freedom, blessing, and victory has arrived. Release is not just about receiving, it is about walking in obedience. God will not release His blessings into your life if your heart is not ready. He will not give you the fullness of your purpose if you are not prepared to steward it. A season of release requires faith, courage, alignment with God's will. You must be ready to receive, ready to act, and ready to walk in the authority He has given you. I see some of you struggling because you have held back, doubting if you are ready, if you are worthy, or if you can handle what God is about to do. Let me tell you something, you are ready. The trials you have endured, the prayers you have prayed, the patience you have exercised, they have prepared you for this exact season. God has been perfecting you, positioning you, aligning your life for this release. Trust that His timing is perfect and that His plan is flawless. A season of release also brings breakthrough. Releases what has been hidden, opens doors that were previously closed, and establishes you in places you never imagined. It is a time when favor comes from unexpected places, when blessings arrive suddenly, and when God's power is made evident in your life. The release may come as provision, promotion, relationships, or spiritual insight, whatever form it takes. It is a manifestation of God's faithfulness and a confirmation of His promises. Release often comes with responsibility. God releases something into your life. He trusts you to steward it wisely. Your breakthrough is not just for comfort. It is for impact. Your provision is not just for accumulation. It is for multiplication. Your favor is not just for advancement. It is for alignment with God's kingdom purposes. What is released into your life is meant to position you to bless others, influence lives, and leave a legacy. Sometimes a season of release can be overwhelming. The sudden shift, the new responsibilities, or the uncharted territory may seem daunting. But do not fear. God's Spirit will guide you. His wisdom will lead you, and His strength will equip you. You are not alone in this season. Heaven is moving with you. Angels are assigned to you. God Himself is orchestrating every detail to ensure that your release brings glory to Him and fulfillment to you. Think about Joseph when Pharaoh elevated him to second in command over Egypt. He had been through betrayal, false accusation, and imprisonment. Yet, the season of release came. He was fully prepared to step into his assignment. God had refined him, equipped him, and positioned him for impact. That same principle applies to you. Your season of release is not random. It is the culmination of preparation, faithfulness, and divine alignment. Release also requires faith in action. You cannot remain passive and expect blessings to flow. You must move forward, step out, walk into what God has prepared for you. Doors will open, opportunities will arise, and favor will manifest. But you must take hold of it. Trust that God's hand is upon you, and then act with courage, confidence, and obedience. A season of release is a season to walk boldly in your destiny. Do not waste this moment. Do not allow fear, doubt, or hesitation to hold back what God is releasing into your life. Speak life over your circumstances. Declare that your season of release has come. Praise God for what is on the way. Recognize that everything in your past, every struggle, every tear, every season of waiting has prepared you to receive and maximize this release. A season of release is also a testimony. What is released in your life will inspire others, shift environments, and glorify God. Your breakthrough becomes a beacon of hope, proof of God's faithfulness, and an example of His supernatural power. When you walk in your season of release, you are not just receiving for yourself, you are manifesting God's glory for all to see. So today, rise up with expectation. Step boldly into your season of release. Speak life over what God has promised. Receive the blessings, favor, and assignments that have been prepared for you. Trust that this is your moment. This is your breakthrough. This is your breakthrough. This is your divine shift. The season of release is here, and heaven is ready to move. Remember, your season of release is not by chance, it is by divine orchestration. Every prayer you have prayed, every act of faith you have demonstrated, every moment of perseverance has led you to this point. The time of waiting is over. The doors are opening. The chains are breaking. Blessings are flowing. and you are about to step into the fullness of all that God has prepared for you. So rise today with faith, expectation, and courage. Declare that your season of release has come. Walk boldly into your destiny. Receive what God has promised. Step into favor, breakthrough, and abundance. And watch as your life shifts, your purpose unfolds, and your destiny is fulfilled. You are no longer waiting. You are entering your season of release, and heaven itself is celebrating your victory. Your life carries a holy assignment, and it is meant to impact the world. God has placed a purpose in your heart, calling on your spirit, and a destiny that no one else can fulfill. What you carry is not ordinary. It is sacred. It is divinely appointed. It is meant to shift environments, transform lives, and bring glory to God. You were created for influence, for legacy, and for impact. Your assignment is holy, and it is powerful. Too often we underestimate our significance. We look at our small beginnings, our struggles, and our imperfections and think, "Who am I to make a difference?" But let me tell you something, God does not call the equipped, He equips the called. Your assignment does not depend on your size, your status, or your experience. It depends on your obedience. When you embrace what God has placed in your hands, the impact of your assignment will reach farther than you can imagine. A holy assignment carries eternal weight. It is not about temporary success or fleeting recognition. It is about fulfilling God's plan in a way that touches generations, shifts destinies, establishes His kingdom on earth. Every act of faith, every word of encouragement, every prayer lifted, every sacrifice made, all of it contributes to the fulfillment of your assignment. The influence of your obedience is multiplied in ways that cannot always be seen in the natural. Think about Moses. He was just a man raised in Egypt, doubts, fears, and insecurities. Yet God gave him a holy assignment to deliver His people from bondage. That assignment had profound impact. Freed nations, established a legacy, and revealed the power of God to the world. Moses did not start as extraordinary, but when he embraced his assignment, his obedience caused history to change. In the same way, your holy assignment, no matter how small it seems right now, has the potential to bring eternal impact. Pact flows from purpose. When you align with God's will, when you walk in your calling, and when you operate in obedience, your life becomes a vessel for transformation. The words you speak, the encouragement you give, the influence you carry, these are not accidents. They are divinely orchestrated to fulfill a greater plan. Your holy assignment is a spiritual ripple that spreads far beyond what you can see or measure. Sometimes your assignment may seem hidden or delayed. You may feel unnoticed, overlooked, or unappreciated. But that does not mean your assignment lacks impact. It simply means that God's timing is perfect and the fullness of your influence will be revealed at the right moment. Every season of preparation, every trial, every moment of waiting is contributing to the effectiveness of your assignment. The impact of your obedience is never wasted. Your assignment is not for personal gain, it is for kingdom purpose. Your life, your gifts, and your calling are meant to bring glory to God, serve others, and establish His will on the earth. When you embrace this truth, you begin to see that your influence matters. Even the smallest act of faith can set off a chain reaction that changes lives, alters destinies, and fulfills God's promises. You do in secret has impact in ways you cannot yet see. A holy assignment often requires courage. It asks you to step into unknown territory, to face opposition, and to rise above fear. It challenges you to trust God when the path is unclear, to persevere when doors are closed, to maintain integrity when the world pressures you to compromise. But it is through these challenges that the impact of your assignment is amplified. Your faithfulness in difficulty demonstrates God's power and inspires others to trust Him as well. Think about Esther. She was a young woman in a foreign land, seemingly ordinary, yet God placed her in a position of influence for such a time as that. Her courage to embrace her assignment saved a nation. Her obedience brought deliverance, protection, and hope. Your assignment, no matter how hidden or challenging, carries similar potential. What you do in obedience can save lives, change communities, and bring glory to God on a monumental scale. Your assignment is also a reflection of God's glory. It demonstrates His power, His wisdom, and His faithfulness. When you fulfill your calling, you provide evidence to the world that God is real His promises are true, and that His plan is perfect. Your impact is not just about the outcomes. It is about revealing the nature of God to those around you. Your assignment is holy because it carries His name, His authority, and His presence. Do not underestimate the power of your influence. Every prayer you pray, every encouragement you give, every act of kindness, every moment of obedience contributes to the fulfillment of your assignment. You may never fully understand the ripple effect of your faithfulness. God sees it, heaven honors it, and lives are changed because of it. Your obedience produces a legacy that will outlast generations. A holy assignment requires focus and commitment. You must guard your time, energy, and spirit. You must prioritize what God has called you to do. Distractions, fears, and worldly pressures are designed to divert you from the fulfillment of your destiny. But when you remain committed, when you walk in obedience, when you operate in alignment with God's will, your assignment becomes a conduit of divine impact. Do not compare your assignment to anyone else's. Your calling is unique, tailored to your gifts, your experiences, and your purpose. Comparison diminishes your impact because it shifts your focus away from what God has specifically entrusted to you. Embrace your divine assignment. Walk boldly in the knowledge that you were chosen for this purpose. The impact you create is yours alone and is vital to the fulfillment of God's plan. Your assignment also teaches perseverance. It challenges you to continue even when the results are not immediate, to trust God even when the outcome is uncertain, and to remain faithful even when the world doubts you. The longer you walk faithfully in your calling, the greater the impact. Every act of faith adds to the legacy you are building and the influence you are cultivating. So today, rise up with confidence. Embrace your holy assignment. Walk boldly in your purpose. Speak life, encourage others, and trust that God is using you to shift environments, transform lives, and glorify His name. Impact of your obedience, faith, and dedication will be felt far beyond your imagination. What you do today echoes in eternity. Remember, your assignment is holy and its impact is eternal. The challenges you face, the opportunities you seize, the lives you touch are all part of God's divine plan. You were created for influence, designed for purpose, called to impact the world in ways that only you can. Stand firm, walk faithfully, and embrace the power, authority, and responsibility of your holy assignment. Heaven is counting on you. The world is waiting for you. And God is with you every step of the way. I will walk in my assignment. I will fulfill my purpose. I will impact lives. I will bring glory to God. My assignment is holy. Its influence will last for generations. You are not ordinary. You are chosen, appointed, and empowered to make a difference. The impact of your holy assignment begins now.